Many challenges that the communications or telco industries are going through today. What we tend to see is the most pressing challenges that they're dealing with is the dramatic growth in data consumption. I think it's something that every provider is aware of and are working through. They sit on a tremendous amount of data, but they're now looking for ways to leverage the data that they have to improve how they run their business and how they generate revenue and profit and keep customers satisfied. So it's data consumption, data growth. It's changing and enhanced technologies that's causing a lot of costs or creating a lot of costs, operations costs, CapEx costs for them to modernize their infrastructure. And then lastly, they're finally going through a transformation of taking care of the customer as the primary focus of the business. And we believe this is something that has been needed for a very long time. But because of market constraints, competitive businesses out there, as well as businesses, OTT players outside of traditional telecommunications, competition's a lot tougher today, and everyone's fighting for the customer's time and the customer's loyalty. And so that's a big challenge for providers to enhance their work in this area. JP?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the challenges I observe and I see a lot when we talk to customers is how do we retain these customers? How do we keep them with us? And the answer is very simple. That customer experience has to be the best. Only if you deliver the customer experience that your customers expect, you'll be able to retain it. Now, carriers, as you stated, Michael, they're sitting an enormous amount of data. The challenge for them is basically how do you go through examining the data? How do you sift through this data to be able to identify which customers you need to focus on? Not all of the customers are the same. Maybe you don't want to keep all the customers. Maybe there are specific customers you need to focus on, but only by looking at your data with the tools that are available to you with advanced analytics, you can do that. The digital transformation in a telecommunications company is completely a paradigm shift. There's a need to go from what we used to do. I worked in telecoms for over 25 years in many different roles. Planning, operations, maintenance, and the mentality, the thinking, and it's nothing negative. I come from this world of telecommunications. It's what we used to do. We're really good at reacting, at fixing things. However, the new way of doing things doesn't allow us for that. Customer experience, as I stated before, is paramount. It's very important. And if you're going to react in 3 hours or it's not enough, it has to be immediate. So how do you get there? Basically, by transforming from your NOC to a SOC. That's the kind of digital transformation you have to go. You have to look at not focusing on repairing equipment and parts and modules, but into looking into services, how the service flows. And to be able to support and make sure the services are running fine, you need to be able to understand from end to end how the whole thing flows. That's the challenge they're having.
Fantastic, JP. And just to add to that, another aspect of digital transformation is with the competition that I mentioned earlier and the focus on the customer that both JP and I have been talking about. Telecommunications or traditional telecommunications businesses need to transform their business models and how they service their customers. And they need to look at companies out there in the world that excel in that area. And a lot of organizations in the OTT market, if you will, companies like Amazon and Alibaba and Google and Facebook, they built their core business on providing a valuable service to customers. And so communications providers need to follow that guidance, follow that direction, and transform how they do business. They're not just connecting a call anymore. They're providing value-added services, and those value-added services can take them far beyond the traditional voice data type of services they provide, partnering with other industries in manufacturing and retail and mining and banking, and becoming a part of an ecosystem in an IoT type of environment where they're providing enhanced value-added services enables these organizations to transform and grow in revenue and grow in profitability. And all that, we believe, falls under the digital transformation umbrella.
If I may add, Michael,
absolutely.
This digital transformation, it's going from a NOC to a SOC. Has to happen. It's the way to stay competitive. But the first step a telecom has to do is basically centralize the data. You need to centralize the data to be able to have a centralized repository of all the data, to bring it in all in one single place, to break down the silos. As you were talking about the need to do the marketing, the customer experience, it triggered on me the thought, you have to concentrate, centralize the data to be able to analyze the data and break down with the silos. The silos will not help in this digital transformation. You need to start by step number one, centralize your data, and then bring the tools that will allow you to do the digital transformation that you need.